Tryout for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Tony Dungy, or the sure bet World Wrestling Entertainment. Here's a contract for $250,000.
Professional wrestling, you're not really competing. You're more or less, you know, you're showcasing. You're putting on a show. You're telling a story to the fans.
He was one of their biggest stars, and he just walked away from it.
He's a real competitive athlete, and that thirst for competition was never squashed. He just didn't have an outlet.
Everything about me before I got there was real. Now everything was fake. My friends were fake. It seemed like the money I was making was fake. I was like, there's got to be something else for me to do.
Like he said before, if the UFC was then what it is now, I would have gone straight into the UFC and not the WWE. So he wants to be the next UFC heavyweight champion.
Brock gets to go back to his roots and compete again, and I think that's what Brock wants to do. He wants to win again. He wants to have that feeling of being a winner and a champion again.
The people are starving to see a true heavyweight. I'm going to fight my way to the top and try to be that guy. This isn't some bullshit scheme. I'm coming to this fight to win.
If Brock Lesnar is able to be competitive in the UFC, if he can perform in the UFC to the same level that he performed in amateur wrestling, you might see the new archetype of the heavyweight champion.
Brock Lesnar's going to be very dangerous, and he's getting the right kind of training. He's not sitting on his butt right now. He's training 9 hours a day. He's getting ready.
Even though Brock Lesnar is coming from this wrestling entertainment background, you can't forget the fact this guy was a real, legit, amateur, competitive wrestler, and the best in the country.
The only reason he's here is because this guy was a very good college wrestler. And if you look at our history, college wrestlers do very well.
Brock's base is wrestling. And wrestling, I think, is the cornerstone of mixed martial arts. I mean, he wants to improve on his back as a jiu-jitsu guy. He wants to improve on his striking, on his feet. But he has to stick with that base because that base got him where he is.
He's training very hard. The question is going to be, can Brock Lesnar really fight?
Tim's okay. He's going to have some surgery on his arm. But ladies and gentlemen, the new heavyweight champion of the UFC, Frankmir.
It's a good night.
Frankmir was thought to be the next big thing. He's a huge guy, a big, giant heavyweight guy, but yet he would pull these quick moves off of his back. The armbar against Tim Sylvia, the sick armbar that he pulled against Pete Williams. He was a very, very dangerous fighter.
During his reign as heavyweight champion, he was driving his motorcycle home one night and got hit. He was hit by a guy, ran a red light, broke his leg. He has not been the same fighter since.
Coming down through the intersection here, I seen a car taking a left-hand turn to come down here. And the light turned yellow as I was entering the intersection, and he started to go. And so I bit on my brakes, like, oh, what is he gonna do, you know? But then I seen the guy's car settle back. I said, oh, he's decided not to go. So when I got hit, I skipped in and caught the sidewalk on the back of my head. And I remember that hurt, because before I just felt like I was being dragged along, like I was just skipping and rolling at the same time. And then I hit, and I just remember feeling nothing but cold, wet grass. My brother came running over to me. He's like, you know, are you all right? And I couldn't feel my left leg too well. And so when I sat there, the paramedics came up. They're like, you know, what's wrong? I'm like, actually, honestly, bro, I just feel like I got kicked in the leg really hard. I think I can get up. I just, for some reason, I can't, you know? That's when the paramedic was like, you know, was one leg shorter than the other when you first started out? I'm like, no, not that I was aware of. Is it that bad? He was like, yeah, I think your femur's broken.
Our life was probably what people would consider almost picture perfect anyways. And he got in the motorcycle accident, and it literally changed everything. He almost lost everything. His career, everything he had worked for, trained for his whole life, his family.
The career part didn't actually start to hit me until about a month later when I realized I might be out for a while, huh? I think as a fighter, you sometimes think you'll get up from anything, and it takes a little dose of reality to jar you awake, so. But I did get to see a lot of good things. I think that he does have the ability to pass the guard. Okay, someone's been telling this guy, and in the duress of the fight, he is trying to pull it off, which shows me he has an aptitude to learn.
Nice.
It just didn't start now for me to have to prove myself. I've been proving myself since, you know, way back when. Come to the NCAA tournament, and I'm ranked number 2 behind Stephen Neal from Cal State Bakersfield, and he's a returning NCAA champion. And University of Minnesota, we're behind by a half a point to win the national tournament. Comes down to the heavyweights.
The power of this youngster, Brock Lesnar, against the experience of Stephen Neal.
Stephen Neal takes a shot on me. He gets me all the way down. We're almost out of bounds. And I got a whizzer in on him, and I'm like, if I give this to him, he's got the match. Everything in my power to get away from this guy, and I get out and I shove him off the mat, and the whole place just goes, woo, you know.
Lesnar with a nice whizzer powers his way out.
Totally caught him off guard. I think he thought that he was gonna take me down. Now it's my turn. I'm gonna try to take you down. And so I attempt to take him down. Made a foolish shot. Never should have shot on him at that moment. He spins around me, gets 2, and he beats me 3-2. Felt like I let my team down. I let not just the team, but University of Minnesota lost the title because Brock Lesnar lost in the finals. So I was like, well, I don't know anything different. I just get back on the horse again. And, you know, the next year, NCAA Division I finals. Match goes on. We're head-to-head, back and forth. He's almost got me. I almost got him. Okay, boys, it's overtime. I take a shot, almost get him down. He takes a shot, almost gets me down. Double overtime. We're at almost a 10-minute mark on this match. Last 30 seconds, coin toss. Brock goes down.
If Brock Lesnar can get out of the grip, he will be the national champion.
I get away with 9 seconds left on the clock, and I win my national title.
And Brock Lesnar from Minnesota is your heavyweight champion in the year 2000.
I've always challenged myself, and you know, I had to overcome being a WWE wrestler, transferring into mixed martial arts. What changes people's perspective on it is this kid's for real. This kid works hard and knows what he wants.
Nice, that's the one we're looking at. Nice.
I go into this fight prepared. I want to be prepared for this fight. I had to learn boxing. I had to learn, you know, how to strike with elbows. I had to learn how to kick. I had to learn how to knee. I had to learn these things in order to defend them.
We bring it, and we don't pull any punches, and that's the difference between me right now. That's where I'm gaining my experience every day. You know, I got to suit up to go to fight. We don't try to kill each other necessarily, but I need to know that I can take a shot.
You're talking about a guy who's a huge, ripped heavyweight with gigantic bones, huge hands like canned hams, gigantic fire hydrant head. If Brock Lesnar would really put it all together, you're dealing with a serious threat to the title.
This probably is all around the best shape that I've been in. You know, I'm training for a number of different disciplines here, you know. I want a lot of power in my arms. I want a lot of power in my legs. I want a lot of power in my shots. And to have power, you got to have good conditioning.
My workouts, I usually, I don't know, on average, I probably drop 10 pounds a day. I've always sweated a lot.
Great wrestlers who come from this background of training constantly and mental toughness and discipline. Those guys, it translates so well into mixed martial arts.
I'm going to work hard at this. I'm going to do whatever it takes to be the best heavyweight in the UFC. You know, I'm not going to go out there and play his game, you know. I'm not going to go out there and respect his jiu-jitsu. I'm going to go out there, and I have to be well aware of it, but I'm not going to crimp my pace or my style